According to Dr. Richard Verbeek, seen here in the Sunnybrook Hospital video, it appears the two paramedics treating Yosif Al-Hasnawi made contradictory statements in their reports, were cherry-picking reasons for Yosif's condition, and seemed to ignore plummeting vital signs before departing the scene. But here's what 32-year-old Christopher Marchant told the dispatcher the next day.
His vital signs were perfect. Everything was perfect on this kid other than why is he acting like a dickhead is what he was acting like.
According to medical charts, Yosif's heart was actually beating rapidly. Crown Attorney Linda Shin asks, were his vital signs perfect? Dr. Verbeek replied, I would say quite the opposite in the context of this case. He's tachycardic, breathing too fast, is confused and disoriented. Shin says, would you expect a primary care paramedic to understand that? His response, yes. In the ambulance call report, the paramedics wrote that Yosif was in no immediate distress, but within the same analysis say he was uncooperative and extremely combative. Dr. Verbeek said the challenge in this is that it's quite contradictory, quite the extreme on the continuum. The paramedics noted in the report that Yosif was only speaking 3 to 4 word sentences and stated he couldn't breathe. Dr. Verbeek says there were enough signs to load and go, meaning take the patient to the trauma center as quickly as possible. Instead, they were at the scene for 23 minutes. The court watched the video of Police Constable Michael Zuzella and then Christopher Marchant lifting Yosif by his arms. Dr. Verbeek said lifting a patient like this is honestly the last thing you should do in how you move them, describing how dangerous this is if there was an internal bleed. But this chart shows that at 9:29 p.m., Yosif's condition changes. You can see the line drop off. Within 4 minutes, his heart rate begins to plummet significantly. Dr. Verbeek read through the timeline that shows paramedics were still on scene. They left 3 minutes later and, despite the changes, requested to go to St. Joe's. Dr. Verbeek told the court, I really would have expected them to now appreciate that there's likely a connection between the falling off the cliff or crashing and the penetrating wound to the abdomen.
Everything's 10-4. We need Joe's 3-2 EPT.
EPT, emergency psychiatric treatment. Dr. Verbeek told the court, I would say that's incorrect. It's not just the confusion that matters, it's putting it all together that matters. And that's the way we are trained, not to cherry pick. Yosif was pronounced dead at St. Joe's at 9:58 p.m. after suffering a massive internal bleed. Dr. Richard Verbeek will be cross-examined by the defense tomorrow as the Crown's case continues. And then in the new year, the defense will present their evidence before a judge renders his verdict. Christopher Marchant and Steve Snively were both fired as paramedics, but they do face up to 5 years in prison if found guilty.